Getting ready to start the meeting. Good morning, everyone, and welcome to the Seneca County Board of Commissioner meeting. Today's Thursday. It's March 6th, 2025, 10 in the morning, and we'll begin with the Pledge of Allegiance. Pledge allegiance to the flag
of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
I will. Okay. Please pray with me. Lord, thank you for allowing us to gather here today to discuss county business. I also ask you to guide us to make the best decisions for the county we can. I also like to thank you for the hard work and effort that so many did out at the train derailment, sheriff, the EMS, emergency medical or emergency medical people, anybody that would have helped with the train derailment and get the roads back open. Amen.
Amen. Roll call, please.
Commissioner Paradiso,
Here.
Commissioner Frankert,
Here.
Commissioner Bustecker.
Here.
So at this time, I'll accept the motion to approve the digital audio recording of our previous board session from February 27th.
Make the motion.
I'll second.
Okay, roll call.
Commissioner Bustecker,
Yes.
Commissioner Frankert,
Yes.
Commissioner Paradiso.
Yes. Okay, minutes approved. We'll begin the meeting with Lou Hurst.
Okay.
Developmental Disability Month. We're excited, even though we're third, right? You went to Tiffany plus Astoria. Well, you saved the best for last, so come on up. Thank you.
You just want to come with me?
Yes,
Yeah, why not?
we're excited to have you.
So thank you for having us. As you're well aware, March is Disability Awareness Month. We've got some folks that want to kind of highlight some of the different events. You guys want to come over here so you can look at? So just real quick, for those of you who don't know, the Opportunity Center is in Tiffin. We provide supports to adults and children with developmental disabilities. We have been growing over the years. Over the last 5 years, we've grown almost by 20%. Mostly children, so we're kind of at an interesting tipping point in terms of we're serving, generally we've always served more adults than children. We've had a school, but we've had about 50 kids in our school, and then we do early intervention, which is about another 90 children. And then the rest were adults. At that point, when I first started, we were about 320. Now we're about 550 adults and mostly children coming in. And that's because of the growth of autism that we're seeing in the community, also the impacts of the opioid epidemic. Children typically, if mom gives birth to a child and is addicted to drugs, it damages the impulse control center of the brain, which then qualifies the child for a developmental disability. And we're seeing more and more of that in our program. And Heather is with us. Heather Gary. Maybe, I'm sorry.
Smith.
I'm sorry, yeah.
Hard one to remember.
No, I was reading about your father last night, so that was, so I apologize.
No, that's okay.
But Heather works with behavioral support and positive culture and does an integral job working with the school districts. We're doing that more and more, but also working with our children, helping the families and the children get on the right track to try to put it in the structure that the kids need to be successful. And she does a great job for that. Amy is with us. She is, well, not new anymore in her position. She's about almost a year and a half under her belt. And she's done a great job leading the advocacy department in terms of advocating for folks and helping these folks find their voice to speak up for themselves. Because we believe we work for these guys and we give them the power to control their lives. And that's really our mission, to help families understand that and help individuals continue to grow. So we do a lot of different things. We've got a couple guests. You guys want to go ahead and introduce yourselves and talk about your different events?
Yeah, we'll start with
Ryan.
Ryan.
Want to go first?
The first one is our bakery bingo on March the 13th.
Why don't you come up here so everybody can see you? Sorry.
What's your first name, please?
Ryan.
Hi, Ryan. Okay, thank you.
For our bakery bingo on March 13th, it's from 5:30 to 7 o'clock at the Opportunity Center.
Got lots of
And there's a
fun.
raffle
Yeah.
too. a 50/50 raffle.
Concession stand.
My wife makes,
All foods.
Good.
my wife bakes some of the best cupcakes,
Oh, yes, and she does.
and she puts them out there, so it's really good.
It's good.
Come on in.
All right,
Come on
thank you.
in. You're okay.
All right.
You've got sneaking in. What's your name, please?
Nick,
Hi, Nick.
What do you want to share going on this month?
I got this fire for Roger socks and stuff for that.
Rock your socks. On what day is that? Do you remember?
The 21st,
Yeah.
2025.
And that date represents World Down Syndrome.
World Down Syndrome.
Yeah. So if you got some funky socks or just mismatch or colorful
Yeah.
socks, make sure you wear them on that day. huh?
Yeah, I'll wear them on them days.
And if you want, if you guys take photos and want to tag us on that day, we try to share
Yeah.
all the fun socks. Anyone want to tag
Yeah.
Summit County Opportunity Center on that day. We'll leave you with flyers too.
Yeah, flyers.
Thanks, Nick.
Okay, Nick.
Good job, buddy. You want
And the idea is honestly to make awareness to
Thank you,
Down
Nick.
syndrome. It's
Yep.
National Down Syndrome Day, so it's part of their theme. We support it, and it's a kind of a fun thing for everybody, so wear your funky socks.
Yeah.
They've actually made a whole brand of socks called Funky Socks just for this day.
Have we done this before? I don't remember doing it. We have.
We, yeah,
Okay.
but I don't know if we've shared
Sorry, I
it with
just
you
didn't
before.
remember.
Love it.
Hi, my name's Chris Wagner, and I'm here from the Seneca County. And we're doing a annual Seneca County Opportunity Center for a celebrity basketball game at Heidelberg. The doors open at 6 o'clock, and the game starts at 7. And it's on March the 27th. Hot dogs, chickens, and snack more. And 50/50 raffle.
Okay, thank you, Chris. Thank you.
And if I could just say something about Chris. Chris joined us in Washington several years ago.
Oh, yeah, you don't want
And-
to know that.
Chris was invited to speak in Washington about the shelter workshop and challenges of the shelter workshop. And we had a legislative meeting with about 30 representatives, congressmen. And we saw our first live protest. So a group came in and protested. Another group of individuals with disabilities came in and protested these guys from speaking, and they disrupted the event. But there was a shouting match out in the hallway because they were shouting, and I mean, it was really unique. I've never really seen anything quite like it, because literally someone comes up to you and just starts screaming in your face, and you try to calm them down, like, what are you even saying? And then at the end of it, the person came up to me and said, I'm paid to be here, so if you need anybody to speak on your behalf, here's my business card. They pay the people to come in. I think 12 of them were arrested for disturbing the peace. And the agency that hires them already has somebody at the courthouse to pay their bail to get them out. But it was crazy because they didn't even hear that these were individuals with disabilities that were talking. So one of the organizers was arguing with Chris in the hallway, and Chris spoke very adamantly that I'm an individual with disabilities, I have the right to talk. You have no right to say I don't. And he actually shut up the guy, which was amazing.
And then, what I did, I told the lady who was taking the film, I said, you tell that lady to get out of my face. Oh, did she look back up?
Sheriff, you
But
want
I have a great picture of him. I was worried for a minute that he may be escorted. So I was trying to get to him to calm him down, because it's hard when somebody says.
It's getting out of control.
But it was crazy. But I just want to say that it's one of
That's a great story.
I had
Problem.
two guys back me up.
I'm sorry, go ahead.
And
My
last,
name's Ralph Gallo.
Ralph, well,
You're having a Pasadena dinner, April 13th. Meals you order out, due April 1st, and they're $12.
Sunday dinner.
Sunday dinner.
and they're really good.
You need to have, yeah, you said April 1st, we need to have your
Orders in.
Yeah, April 1st.
And ham and chicken, right? It's kind
Yeah.
of, you just pick one of the
We
two.
could
and-
take your orders now if you.
Actually, I got mine in already. so yeah.
And actually,
If you would stay up here, any comments from the commissioners?
No, just again, Lou, as we talked about this morning on the radio and stuff on it, that does a great job with, running out there and staffing and working with all the individual stuff on it. We do appreciate your time and dedication to the county and stuff on that, so.
Very good.
I was gonna say, could we get a picture taken with you guys?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I'm gonna sit in that middle seat.
you guys helping us.
So what we'll do, I will read a proclamation, but come on up for a photo. Is that okay? I punched the button. Yeah. We're gonna wait, but we gotta do it right now. Come on up.
Okay.
Have a seat.
As people are coming up, I just want to say that, we're truly blessed to be in Seneca County. A lot of programs like ours do not have the level of support that the community has in terms of supporting folks with disabilities. So
Thank you.
we are very thankful for that.
Chair down there.
Here, hop in here. Everybody get behind.
Here you go.
Come on up, Lou. All you guys come up. Have a
No, I want
proclamation.
you in here too.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, it's always fun.
Hey, why don't you put Nick in that seat?
Try to help.
Scoot him over here. Great idea.
Sorry.
Hey, you better get in here too, boy.
Well, okay, I'll get in for the photo, but I'm gonna read a proclamation.
Nick wants to go sit right over here, pal.
Got it.
It's my OCD.
Go put those chairs together so you guys all, you're running the meeting. So, Mr. Chairman, may I read a proclamation? Steve, may I read a proclamation?
Go ahead,
Okay,
sir.
ask permission. So we have a proclamation from the Seneca County Board of Commissioners, whereas individuals with developmental disabilities share a vision for a good life. And whereas each individual that has disabilities has skills and talents to enrich the community and people around them. And whereas individuals with and without developmental disabilities live and work side by side across our country to form strong, diverse communities. And whereas the most effective way to increase developmental disability awareness is through everyone's active participation in the community, their activities, and the openness to learn and acknowledge each individual's contribution. And whereas we encourage all citizens to support opportunities for people with disabilities, and now therefore be it resolved that we, the County Commissioners of Seneca County, Ohio, hereby recognize the month of March as Developmental Disabilities Awareness Month. And we encourage all members of our community to become a friend of someone with intellectual and developmental disabilities. A witness whereof, we, the Board of Seneca County Commissioners, hereunto set our hand on this proclamation, the 6th day of March, in the year of our Lord, 2025. Anthony Paradiso, Bill Frankert, Brent Bustecker. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
There you go, Mr. President.
All right, we'll smile for you.
Could you open that up,
Open
please?
that up. There you go.
And, yep, can you get her? You got it, right there.
We'll smile real nice.
Thank you.
All right, everyone look over here.
Limburger.
We have protesters outside.
Thank you so
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. Got her? Thank you.
All right.
All you guys help us get those buildings on the fairgrounds too.
I just, I sincerely want to say thank you to the community for the support of our program, because truly we wouldn't exist without that support. So thank you, everybody.
Nice to meet you, Amy. Thank you. Ryan, Nick, Chris, and Ralph, thank you.
We appreciate all you guys helping us get the buildings out of the fairgrounds too.
Well, thank you.
Yeah, there's some cool magnets the other day.
Oh, yeah, we got more. We need the magnets. Oh, really? Here's some dates, I know you know.
Thank you.
I do have one.
I do, but I'll take them out now. Thank you.
Thank you.
I have one, thank you, sorry.
Wow.
Now you could take him to jail.
Gotta let him do the meeting first.
Keep her together then.
I hear ya, I agree.
Mike, for like, back to the 80s and stuff, this year too.
80-degree weather sounds so nice.
Yeah, I'm with you.
I can't wait.
That's fair weather.
Speaking of fair,
Picking up there,
There, so
that's a good segue.
Wow, good job.
we have a 4-H update from Katie Cole. Turn this over to Commissioner Franker, who's on her committee.
nice job.
And floor is yours.
Okay, Katie, are you ready to come on up, bring your team up here and tell us everything that's going on with 4-H?
We've got quite the team today.
This is great.
Yes.
Welcome.
Yeah, so before I hand it off to, maybe I'll get up here. Before I hand it off to them, just want to share that obviously it's Ohio 4-H Week, March 2nd through the 8th this week, and so we're doing all things 4-H. Many of our clubs have been meeting throughout the year and have had several business meetings under their belt. We have lots of things going on here upcoming as well. We have officer training coming up this Monday at Sentinel for all of our newly elected officer positions through our clubs. We also have the Ohio 4-H conference this weekend that we have about 20 teens as well as adult volunteers that are attending that. And so we have a lot going on. I have my camp counselors tonight, so we're doing all things camp in preparation for that as well. And then just want to say that our enrollment deadline for all youth to be enrolled in 4-H is March 20th. So we have a couple more weeks yet until that deadline, but they are coming in strong, and the next time I'm here to give a report, I can share more about those numbers and where we're at with that. But we welcome any youth to join 4-H. Our ages for eligibility is 5 and in kindergarten through 18 as of January 1. And we have about 40 community clubs throughout the county that represent many of our school districts. And yes, so I will pass it off to who you really want to hear from, which is our youth, and they represent several different clubs, I think, here today. So they'll kind of share their story, if you will, and a little bit about their experiences in the program.
I'm Alexandria Elker. I've been in 4-H for 10 years now, and I'm in 2 different 4-H clubs, Doggone It and New River, Rawhide, and Woolies. I've been in both clubs for 10 years. I show various projects. I show dogs, chickens, ducks, rabbits, and then I do a bunch of miscellaneous like scrapbooking, woodworking, gardening. And I'm also on the junior fair board. I've been on that for about 4 years now. And I would just like to say 4-H is a great experience, and it has really helped me become the person I am today and helped me into my path of where I'm going to go in the future.
I'm Katie Reinhardt. This is going to be my 10th year in 4-H. I'm the president of Rawhide and Woolies this year, and I've been on junior fair board for 4 years, and I was the treasurer last year. And I've taken breeding sheep, market lambs, and all kinds of poultry.
I'm Erin Bryan. I'm an 11-year member of the Nurgle Rawhide and Woolies, and this year I'm the 2024 Seneca County Fair Queen, which has let me travel all over the state and connect with royalty from over 80 fairs at the Ohio Fair Managers Association Ohio Fairs Queen contest. This is where I got to collect all these fancy little pins. And I have taken rabbits and poultry for my 11 years.
I'm Bailey Elker. I've been in 4-H for 5 years, and I show cows and rabbits, and I've done other miscellaneous projects, and 4-H has just really helped fill me up because I was told before that city kids can't do fair and stuff, and it just like pushed me to want to do more and work harder.
I'm Isabel Thompson. I've been in 4-H for 5 years, and I'm in Blue Ribbon Buckeyes. I've taken many different projects, but like the past couple years I've just focused on goats, and 4-H has like helped me create a bunch of friends and like opportunities. So yeah.
I'm Madeline Zeno. I've been in 4-H for 6 years. I've taken goats, cows, rabbits, lots of sewing projects, designing projects. I've been to State Fair 4 times now, and so I've learned a lot from all the other people who have been to state. And yeah, 4-H has just really helped me connect to a lot of people, and yeah.
Very good. And I bet you guys enjoyed doing your fair books and making sure your budgets and not just pulling a cover off and using last year's book and stuff on that, right? We do it all from the get-go, right?
Franker did that one time.
So I've been an advisor for, 30 years probably, so that's, so it's always good to see the youth come in, and I tell you that the many different projects that 4-H offers for, kids that participate in it, it's amazing that, the old adage always, you thought you had to be on a farm, but as you alluded to, you don't have to be, and that's the way our club has kind of transitioned too, is you have more, kids that aren't per se on farms, but with smaller projects, rabbits and chickens and stuff, gives them a lot more opportunity, and also, with the gardening and woodworking and welding projects and stuff with it, so it really gives you a good perspective, and like I say, one of the things that I allude to, the books is very important, because that's something you're going to use down the road on that, and especially running meetings, as we have to sometimes guide these guys a little bit on Robert's Rules of Order and motions and second motions and voting and all that stuff with it. It's very, you're going to be use that down the road for many years and stuff as you get involved into other activities, in your adulthood and stuff with it. So that is one of the best things that you participate in 4-H FFA and stuff on that. Those kind of projects, and you do, lifelong friends that you'll see. You might not talk to them every day, but you always, fair is always a good reconnection, whether it's a county fair or the state fair and stuff. That all the people you'll run across through time and stuff.
Through life afterwards,
yeah, exactly. So
Go to fairs.
Yep, no doubt about it. So thank you, and great job again, Katie.
Thank you.
Any comments?
Oh, I forgot to give these to you, but here's just a little folder of information.
Thank you for coming.
I do have a quick, do you have a pen that you give out then?
I do.
And what would that look like?
Right here
Good question.
is our Seneca County 2024 fair pin, and it's got palm trees on it to match.
Yeah, that was your theme, right? Yeah.
Oh yeah.
So you take the theme and make a pen?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
That's what most of the fairs do.
So that's how.
What's this year's theme?
This year's theme for 2025 is the Seneca County Fair has gone wild. It's more of a jungle theme this year.
Zach, you want to lead that?
Sure.
So that.
Can we get a big pin like that, Henry County, like that be Seneca County, big?
We'll see. I gotta design them first.
So thanks for sharing that. Anybody want to say anything else?
I think it'd be great for you. Let's do the 4-H pledge. That way, that since you're ready to have the banner and stuff on that, you guys want to do that?
I'll hold it up.
Yep.
Here, do you want to come back here, or do you want to do it right there?
It don't matter. Yeah, we're going to do that. Yep.
Who wants to lead it?
President Kate.
I pledge my head to your dignity, my heart to greater loyalty, my hands to larger service, my health to better living, for my club, my community, my country, and my world.
Very good. And then we have a proclamation for you, so I'll go ahead and read the proclamation. With Ohio 4-H Week, March 2nd through the 8th of 2025. Whereas the Ohio 4-H Week is celebrated across the state on March 2nd through the 8th in recognition of the organization's widespread impact, thanks to the efforts of 4-H staff, volunteers, and youth. And whereas Ohio 4-H Week creates the opportunity to increase public awareness of 4-H programs, inspire 4-H members, and recruit new members and volunteer leaders. And whereas 4-H was founded in the basement of the Clark County Courthouse in 1902 by Albert Belmont Graham. About 30 boys and girls attended the first meeting. Today the program reaches thousands of youth across the state who learn citizenship, leadership, and life skills. And whereas 4-H hosts clubs in all 88 counties, Seneca County has one of the highest enrollments in the state. Each year about 1,000 youth and about 150 volunteers participate in 4-H in Seneca County. And whereas Seneca County 4-H members can choose from over 200 hands-on projects. The organization's learn by doing approach and is focused on encouraging kids to try new experiences and learn new skills have helped the county's youth prepare for a successful future. Whereas the Seneca County Commissioners wish to recognize the lifelong impact of that 4-H Seneca County has on the area youth. And they wish to express their deepest gratitude to the staff and volunteers who make the 4-H program successful. In witness whereof, we, the Board of Seneca County Commissioners, have hereunto set our hand to this proclamation this 6th day of March in the year of our Lord, 2025. Commissioner Anthony Paradiso, Bill Frankert, and Brett Bustecker. Congratulations.
Walk on in. Have a seat.
Now, who gets to sit in the fancy chairs?
That's right, yeah, well,
Have a seat in the
who's got
chair.
the highest office here? We got a treasurer, we got the president. Who's the president of the 4-H club? You? There you go.
Yeah, come on in.
I'm too short for this too.
Slide on down, yep. Oh, we're good.
OCD.
Good. Happy. Well, we can be the bookends, huh?
Paradiso, you're like way out there.
Sorry.
Left field.
Yeah, it's better.
Okay.
Yeah, that's better.
All right, look here for about 5 minutes.
I'm just get over so I can get in the middle. Thank you.
Very good. Thank you.
Yes, thank you.
You go to school with my son, don't you?
Valerie?
I know of you.
Are you at the Wriggle?
No, I'm at Calvert.
You're, that's right. You're Calvin. She's in the Wriggle.
Yeah.
Well,
You guys have an event in Columbus in like 2 weeks?
She looks like her.
You guys have something going on in Columbus in 2 weeks?
Thank you.
Sheriff, you have to get going? No. You okay for a second?
Yeah, I'm good.
We're just gonna go through our reports.
Fine.
You good? Commission reports.
Can you start?
Don't matter. Go ahead.
Yeah. Oh, I'm sorry. There is.
It's okay.
Thank you.
Sounds like I don't remember.
Thank you.
Thank you, ladies.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Paige.
Yes, thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. You guys have a great day.
See ya.
They just do such a great job.
Okay, ready?
Yes.
Last Friday, I went out and took a tour of the Carmius Quarry, kind of gathering information, get a little more knowledge about their discussion on their expansion. Then I went over to the Pattsville EMS building, met up with Scott Harrison, and got to see the new building as it's coming along. It's a great opportunity, the way that they've
You
done
like it?
things. Yeah, it's nice. It's coming along, and got to see, he and I walked around a bit. He and his dogs and I walked around. They're hilarious. That building out front that they plan on using for village services and stuff, that they get a lot of work to do, but it's a good little setup that they've got out there, so. Let's see, after that, Monday went out to the Seneca County Conservation District, met up with Morgan and her staff out there, and getting a little more familiar with all the different things that we do here in the county. There's a lot, and letting people know who I am, see what we can do to I can be more involved, and let's see, after that, Tuesday, Board of Elections, along with Commissioner Frankert, Budget Commission, Board of Revisions, had GLCAP orientation meeting on yesterday. Then this morning discussed at downtown development, along with Nick, some of the Court Street project and stuff, so that pretty well brings me up to date.
Good, yeah, busy.
Saturday, Fall Story actually had council, some members put together a forum that there in the library, so I went over that. It was 11 o'clock, and actually it was about a 2-hour discussion. There was probably 22 people there, and all, some of the council members, just to kind of, get a pulse from the residents and stuff on that. So time well spent there with the residents and the council and stuff on it. So that was a nice forum, and they put together. On Monday, we had Board of Elections, and Brett and I were both for there, and Linda Davis, that was her, first meeting since she's newly appointed to that position and stuff on it. And they did decide that day that they're gonna, do some for the primary and stuff on it. Green Springs and Adams Township are gonna merge, and also Bloomville and Bloom Township, they voted on at that time to merge those polling places and stuff, just to try to efficient size. Look around the county to see how that can work. There's a lot of support. Sheriff can kind of work with us, and the mayors and stuff on, just to see if we can, help consolidate some polling places and stuff, just to help. It's hard to find people, fewer spots and stuff on that then. So very receptive to that. So Tuesday we had some IT discussion and stuff here, and more to come with that here soon. And then last night went up to Attica Fair. I had a proclamation for Alan Eichholz, he received some awards and stuff down at state, and so presented him with a proclamation at the fair. For the Attica Fair. They do a great job up there, and it's always enjoyable to go to their meetings and the county fair meetings and stuff on that. So and then this morning did WTTF with Lou Hurst, and then they were here today, so that brings us up to date.
Good. I'm gonna take my time and share it with the sheriff.
Okay.
My report will yield to you.
Just a few things. I have some financial information for you. For the month of February, we receipted just over $1.8 million, and we expended just over $2 million. This should all start to level out once real estate settlement is completed at the end of the month. So it won't look like we're spending more than we're taking in. It's just a matter of timing. But things look good. I don't have any questions or concerns at this point. We are down a little bit on revenue due to sales tax being low the last 2 months. So we'll just keeping an eye on all of that. So I have that information. If there's any questions or concerns, I will make you guys aware of that. John Spar couldn't make it today. He did send me an email this morning that he was in Attica. They are putting in a water valve installation. They're doing that this morning, and he was out there. He said that he would give an update after that was installed when he came back into the office. So.
Cool. Yeah.
The other thing that I have is the IT. We've kind of alluded to this a couple of times. Our service with Buckeye IT, they have terminated that service effective May 31st. So Tony and I have been meeting with the City of Tiffin and the City of Fostoria, try to see if we can come together as a whole to get our IT together and maybe get a better understanding of what our services are. And so we put together a proposal for a request for proposals. We're gonna there's a resolution later in the meeting that we'll look at, but I would like to get that started so that we can have somebody in hopefully at the beginning of May to be able to work side by side with Buckeye IT until the end of the month, so that they can kind of understand our systems and make that transition a little easier for us.
Good. And so that RFP will include Tiffin and Fostoria.
Correct.
So we're all going to bid this together. City of Tiffin's here now. And then there'll be a selection process. And there's a lot of moving parts in between, and sheriff including the whole law enforcement piece that we talked about. But we'll roll all that out as we make some progress with it.
Yep.
Good. You guys want to add anything? You've each sat in on a meeting or two.
Yeah.
You like where we're headed?
No, Nick's being
Nick, do you have anything else to add?
Just maybe for the public's knowledge, a couple of years ago, the city of Tiffin had for many years used the North Central Education Service Center as our IT provider. And then we chose another third party after they ended their contract with us and moved to Buckeye as well. Having all three entities share a service we have found to be beneficial. There's a lot of combined services that Tiffin, Fostoria, and Seneca County all share, especially when it's in the law enforcement area. So being able to have one team, one company working with all three of us, all three entities, has been beneficial. We'll see where we go. I have good hopes that we can all stick together, and this would be beneficial for everyone involved. We will see as we get those proposals in, how that fits in with all of our budgets and helps us go toward the future and continue to improve our IT infrastructure at all of the entities.
Since you're here, top 5 reasons, or top 5 things that City of Fostoria, City of Tiffin, and the sheriff do together on an IT perspective. There's a lot more than everybody realizes.
Yeah.
While you're here, you might as well, I'd ask you to.
The number one thing that we do together, and we have done together since 2012, when we collaborated and have mutual systems that are work together with ProPhoenix, which is our CAD, computer-aided dispatch, RMS, report management system. So since 2012, we have been, the Sheriff's Office and the City of Tiffin have had that same program. City of Fostoria joined around 2017, 2018. And so that's one server, and it's located at the City of Tiffin's building, and all of ours are linked into theirs. So when that server goes down, when that server needs work, when we need to get a new server, when there has to be work done on an update or a patch or something, and we're down for a couple hours, the whole county is down because we share that server space. So we've been in talks for the last couple years because that server needed to be replaced with Buckeye IT, our current IT, to move the physical server to the County Justice Center, which makes more sense. That's a really high-tech data center, and it should be in a place like that, and eventually move that to the cloud, intercloud, a county cloud, not the big wide web cloud, for more protection. And we were going to do that, but we had some IT issues with the City of Tiffin having to rebuild some infrastructure that they had. And so we decided as a group to just take the hardware and buy a new server, which was the cheaper route. That buys us about 3 to 5 years, and we just started implementing that here at the first of the year. And so we should get a new hardware server, physical server, and that buys us that 3 to 5 years to eventually move it to the Justice Center, get it up into the cloud after the lifespan of that server and stuff like that. But we interact daily with our ProPhoenix, the software, the physical server, everything's connected into that. So it's very important on the IT side of it that there is somebody in charge of it that has the knowledge and the experience of ProPhoenix itself. It's its own entity. It's not just any IT person can come in there and drop them in and they can fix something that's happening. They have to have the third-party contacts with the company, their programmers, their support people, which are on different time zones and stuff. So when I started in 1993 at the City of Tiffin, in 95 we went computerized. I was a computer person selected because I had a computer at home when I was going to college. And so that was the requirements. That was all the requirements back then. Hey, you're a geek with the computer at home, so you are the assistant computer administrator. Since 95, it has grown into this monster where you need a full IT person that is specifically designated for ProPhoenix. That's how expansive this program is. And because of the security issues involved with Leeds, NCIC, our jail package is included in the Pro Phoenix. We have a jail package. The detectives work in the case management section. It is so. Dispatch, the CAD part of it, the mobile terminals that all the cruisers have. We can see each other's cars on the maps, which helps to coordinate pursuits. It helps to coordinate search warrants, all that stuff. It has just grown into this monster that we need a full-time person dedicated Monday through Friday and on call on the weekends and stuff to come in. We cannot afford to be down hours, let alone days. So that in a nutshell probably encompasses all five of what you said. The top five is there's 5 different items throughout that whole thing.
It's a good summary.
And working together just makes sense to collaborate.
The only other thing I would say is that we're looking for one individual to be hired by the county to take the lead for that.
Just for that.
Just for
which you
that.
just described.
Yep. So that will be out later today or tomorrow.
And that is a long time, because I know discussions with under the previous chief I was under at Tiffin when I was a sergeant and lieutenant, that this is just taking up a normal amount of time for me as a sergeant and lieutenant, and then when it was passed off to other sergeant stuff, same thing out at the sheriff's office, because we have a jail package. I have a sergeant that's in charge of the jail software part of Pro Phoenix. I have a captain and a sergeant that's in charge on the road for the dispatch and the road software, part of it, CAD and RMS. And we, as county employees and county taxpayers, are paying them to do IT work when they should be focusing on their real work and stuff. And some weeks it's more than others, that the hours that they have to put in, especially when there's a new patch coming out or a new update, and especially when an ice storm or something, 911 goes down, or the phones go down, or the Phoenix goes down because of the hard lines or whatever, then all hands on deck. We gotta get this thing back up and running. We've gone to paperless, which causes its own problems, because you need the computer system. If it's down, I can't access those records. I can't look at the text entries for dispatch and find out who to call when the bank alarm's going off, or who to, so we do printouts of that stuff and keep a yearly, once a year copies of that stuff, but you gotta have the access to those systems, especially 911. So, thank you for the forward thinking on finally getting a full-time position, because I know when I was chief for the 8.5 years at Tiffin, that was one of the things I kept continually brought to administration, that this is a full-time position and we need to figure out how to carve that out of the budget somehow. So, appreciate the forward thinking.
That's all I've got.
Good. Anybody else want to say anything? No, jump into old business? Yep. Any old business from anybody? I have one thing on there on the agenda. Sheriff's here. We discussed how we would go about this, so Sheriff, I'm just going to give a little overview of the regional jail update. Why don't you, well then you can rebuttal after me and then talk about the virtual visitation rooms. Is that good?
Yep.
Because we didn't really want to get into we were trying to keep it short and sweet, but just for the benefit of the new commissioners that weren't here when this started, and then the public overall, I would like to summarize how the regional jail study and the mental component of the regional jail study evolved and where we're at with the grant. So in the summer of 2022, Ottawa County commissioners and their sheriff, actually it was Mark Stahl and Sheriff Laborchuk, they approached Sandusky County and Seneca County about a regional jail. They needed jail, they ran out of capacity, they wanted to expand. We were a little hesitant to meet at first because we have plenty of capacity. We have by far the largest jail, and we weren't really sure what the meeting was going to be like, but we agreed to go to it. So we met in Fremont. It was a pretty good discussion, but during the meeting, the mental health component came out, and Sheriff can comment on this, but somewhere around, you hear all these stats, but it's over 60% of the inmates that are housed in all the jails have some sort of mental health issues. And so one of the concepts that came up in that meeting was if we could find a home for, and there's different levels, but if we could find a home for some of these mental health inmates in a specialized facility, that they would get better care that they need, but it would also free up a ton of resources with the county sheriffs, that this might make some sense. Of course, we, how's it work, how's it fund? No one had done anything like it. So at that point, Commissioner Stahl and Sheriff Dvorak wrote a letter, and they sent it to the Bureau of Adult Detention, Ohio Department of Rehab, asking if we could submit an application for a feasibility study for a regional jail that included mental health. And at that time, what was triggering all this was House Bill 687 was capital improvements for local jails. So what we were asking to do is to get soft money to do a feasibility study for a mental health facility, not build a jail. So we had to get permission. And you were there, they even called the governor, wrote this letter, and we were approved to submit an application for a regional jail study. In November of '22, the county commissioners, right before your time, we agreed to participate into this study. So all three counties, Ottawa, Sandusky, Seneca, passed resolutions to apply for this grant. And we would put in $50,000 each, and the grant would be for $350,000. Thus, we would have $500,000 to conduct this study. So we passed the resolution not knowing if the grant was approved or not, and then it was approved. So we had a couple meetings, they put out an RFQ, they selected a vendor, and it wasn't like we met every month, but it was a ongoing kind of meeting. And this is where sheriff comes in, because gathering data for the study required the three sheriffs to really provide all kinds of data. Inmates, caliber of inmates, the mental health classifications, etc. We also brought in Mirsha to be part of that, and we had all kinds of discussions about how this would work. We get to funding, and when an inmate is in a jail, they're not eligible for Medicaid. They get zero money when they're in jail, and many of these people are on Medicaid. So we had to figure out how to fund it. We actually had a meeting with the director of Medicaid in Columbus, in her office, at the endorsement of the governor. We had a really nice meeting, and we looked into all kinds of other options. But in the end, Medicaid is not going to pay to operate this jail. Okay, so we have the $500,000 study has concluded. We have a draft summary. It's not final yet, okay, but it's going to be final. We've all met. Some of the numbers that came out were about $60 million to build a new facility. So we had to get oxygen mask out when we got the shock of that. That is a little easier to, we can find money sometimes for capital to build it, but then how do you operate it? And the operations are between $4 million and $12 million a year to operate this thing, depending on the caliber of services that you provide in there. So if you take a truly mental health hospital kind of scenario and put it in a jail, it's really expensive. So we're at a crossroads. The first grant is concluded. We've participated. Each county has to look out for themselves. We are now asked to consider, and this is why we're here, the group is considering applying for another grant and trying to go down another path. And so with that, I'll let Sheriff talk to kind of fill in, take it from there.
Yeah, I think you did a good job of progressing us through the due diligence. I think that we looked into trying to figure out what's best for not only our county, you know, obviously participating in a regional thing that will help out all the counties, the surrounding counties, but we also have to look at our facility versus the distance, geographical distance, because it would be located in Sandusky County, would be the central location between the three. It quickly morphed into the mental health issue, like you said, with 60 or more % in county jails dealing with some type of mental health. You do have your top tier mental health issues with some people coming in, whether it's homicidal, suicidal, schizophrenic, and there's just nowhere to put some of these people, so they get dumped into, for lack of a better word, dumped into the criminal justice system, which puts a load on the correction officers, puts a load on the taxpayers of each county, because the facilities that used to house some of these individuals are overfull. They don't have enough bed space, they don't have enough staffing, just like everybody else. So what used to be pre-COVID, you could take somebody and take them and get them evaluated. They get a 72-hour pink slip, and they shouldn't be in a jail facility, and they could be within a couple hours evaluated, pink slipped, and sent to NOPH, sent to Firelands in Sandusky, a facility that actually can deal with those issues. That morphed into a couple hours, into a couple days, and then at the height, we were, 10 to 14 days to get a bed space. Well, what do you do with somebody that needs help now, but you can't get them that help now? They become a now problem with our staff. They're on 10-minute suicide watches or medical watches or mental health watches, which is a burden to any system where you have to document every 10 minutes. And if you have multiple people in your booking area that are in the cells that should be for booking in and booking out people, those take up those resources. For example, in Seneca County, we have 5 spaces. When we have new bookings that come in, each booking in, regardless of what they came in for, takes a little over an hour. There's assessments that have to be done, both medical, mental health, classifications, looking at the past charges, if they have any, checking the other systems around the state. We got to be able to classify these in the right. The easy ones are obviously if you're a high felon, then that's an easy classification. But if you're in that mid-tier, who do we place in which pod areas and stuff? And then if they have mental health issues on top of that, they have to be assessed for that. And there's all state and federal requirements that require us to do that. So about an hour 15 per person. And each person has to be seen within a 12-hour time period of their initial intake. That's fine if you just have one, every couple hours or whatever, but there's times that local will bring in 3 or 4 at a time because we are the facility for the whole county, including OSB within the county jurisdiction. But also, we're an IC-T&E facility, so then you got, 5 or 10 that are being brought in, 5 or 10 that are leaving. That puts an overburden on our staffing out there. So with all that being said, again, we did the due diligence, that this might be an avenue for us to take that off of our plate. So if a city agency or an OSP agency has somebody that has mental health issues, instead of bringing them out to the jail on a disorderly charge, persistent disorderly charge, or OVI, or something minor, they could be diverted to this facility. That's what piqued our interest initially on how can we lessen the burden and help these people immediately go into a place that is dedicated for mental health.
Before they get
into the criminal justice system, because that's the type of facility they need to be in. Fix that part first, deal with the criminal element side of it later. And so that piqued our interest in why we've been in it for this long, to get to the end of the feasibility study. But we didn't just spin our wheels and say, well, we'll wait to the end of the study and see if we want to, go with the study, go further.
We learned a lot.
We learned a lot. And part of what we've learned, you know, and we knew this going in, is we're different than the other two counties that are involved in it. We do have space out there. We do have land around us. We do have our own medical. We do have our own kitchen staff. And so those are county employees. And so we were also at the same pathway, looking at, if this doesn't work out, what else can work out for us? And looking at our own stats that we gave to the feasibility study on the truly, those ones that I discussed earlier about that need to be immediately addressed, need to be immediately sent to one of these lockdown facilities, and what can we do? So we worked with some legislators, Gary Click, Senator Reineke, Representative Click, on some legislation that will help us in the pink slip area and stuff, but also, what can we do in our own facility without, especially when we saw the feasibility study cost that can change. I mean, none of that is written in stone.
Yeah.
There could be, you know, more money given from the state. There could be more money given from mental health. So those numbers are can fluctuate. However, what is the best fit for the Seneca County taxpayers? And I'll say this with listening this morning with what Lou said, and he pointed out earlier that we're lucky to have the support here in Seneca County for their program on developmental disabilities. And I will add to that, and I've said this since I became sheriff, I said it when I was chief of police. Seneca County has our own set of community standards. That's what's nice about America. You know, each county has their own history and has their own standards, and that's why their local agencies are all supported by your local and what the community standards are. So ever since I've been sheriff and chief, I've made it my goal to carry those expectations and those community standards throughout the services but both when I was the chief at the city of Tiffin and now the sheriff for one term, what we provide in our services. So if our offices provides enforcement division, jail division, and administrative division, then those community standards shouldn't be any different in the jail, at dispatch when we're talking to people on the phone, when the deputies are dealing with you out on a scene, or handling your call for service on a traffic stop or anything like that. So with all that being said, you know, my belief is that we can work with the commissioners and possibly do something at our own facility, either remodel where our medical is or adjust where our medical is, because the medical is in a very small area. You both have, all of you have been given tours out there, and revamp our booking area or add on or do something, because our stats show that typically, because we fill up our booking area with medical watches, mental health watches, with suicides, homicides, mental health stuff, that we don't have any overflow. So we need a good 4 to 6 bed of our own facility attached to our facility, remodel a booking area to be that facility and create a new booking area, do something. You know, our facility is going on 31 years plus. We just did update to the boiler system to keep that going. Those were original. We're in the HVAC, ending the part of that. We're going into a intercom system, updating the 30-year-old system there. So we're investing money into this building to make it last. It's just common sense that maybe because we have our own set of needs, that we don't need to invest into an out-of-county facility that is going to be yearly cost added on to our already budget that we have here. And like you said, paying for staffing, paying for operational costs, not just the initial costs, which may or may not be covered by all 3 counties. It could be getting grants for that or anything like that. But we have to do our forward thinking and what is this going to cost the county residents for this type of facility, which we know we need, but which route do we go? So,
well, and I think, so we'll get, because it's commissioner decision, so we'll have these guys ask any questions, but to finish you and I's conversation and our report, I think it's our feeling that we don't want to move forward into the next round of feasibility studies, and that we feel after what we've been through, that and all the things you're doing out there, that we could, and it might be a number, you know, it might be $1 million, couple $1 million at some point but it will be very adequate for Seneca County. It'll meet the standards and be less money than this would end up being for the taxpayers. I think am I saying that right?
Yeah, I think that, you know, like I said, we've been kind of taking both paths, you know. If the feasibility study comes through, great, at least we've done our due diligence there. But also, what can we do separately from the feasibility study on our own to care for our own law enforcement and our own immediate needs here? And in the meantime, we've been doing other things. You know, we have some short-term solutions to the mental health issues that we are having, because obviously, we can't just wait for a couple years to decide what to do. So we have come up with some creative solutions with the help and collaboration of the other chiefs of police and law enforcement, had some training from the mental health board and some solutions. The judges have been involved and stuff like that. So there's progress being made. It's not a permanent solution, it's a short-term solution until we decide which route that we want to take.
Okay, open up to you guys.
Yeah, we'll have to digest it 100%, yeah.
good.
So we'll just kind of see how things progress here and, go from there. But I think in-house, if we can do as much as we can here, I think I'm supportive of that.
I think being the newest guy here, listening to the way you guys explained that was extremely good. Because I've heard bits and pieces of it, but getting to hear that way, I mean, I agree with what you say is, I mean, we've seen how doing stuff out of the county, combining together the resources that it would take to do a facility like that. I mean, you guys have done your due diligence looking into it, and I think if we try to think about our own money in our own county, it's probably the safer way to go.
And I'll just make this, we may have said this before, but the hospital's emergency rooms have become what the jail looks like, a hospital emergency room.
Yes.
So what happens at the hospital, if you don't have insurance, you don't have a doctor, anything's wrong with you, you go to the hospital emergency room. I have a buddy whose wife is in the hallway in Rochester, New York. There's 50 people, and she's in the ER room, she can't get a bed. She's out in the hallway, lights are on all 24/7. That's what's happening. The jail has turned into that. Anybody that gets picked up, you don't know where to take them, you take them to the jail. And then once the sheriff receives them and goes through all that work and applies all those resources, we get no funding for them because they're in there, right? And then where do we take them? So the diversion piece is probably something we really learned a lot about. How can you take somebody, instead of putting them in jail, and put them here, and there's different classifications. They can get help, Medicaid pays for those kind of things. And while we continue to work on a bigger solution for the tougher cases. So, okay, so I would like to, this is not what the other two counties want to hear, but I would like to, I don't even know if we need a motion, but I think it would validate it. I would like to recommend that we do not move forward with the next round of participation with the multi-county study for all the reasons we've discussed. If we don't need a motion, I'd like you guys to at least concur with me. You agree?
Right.
Yeah, I agree. You agree? So I don't think we need a motion, do we? So we're just, so we will let them know.
I guess just to back up here a little bit, because the motion, the resolution was to participate in the first.
Yes.
So to me, I think we got that information.
Yeah, we've been through that stage. I don't think we have.
Yeah, so this expired.
I believe
So the
that's
first
how
round
that.
expired, so the request is, hey, Seneca County, there's a deadline, right? I think it's soon.
It was in March, I believe,
Yeah,
to meet
it's
with
this
the
month.
legislators and stuff like that.
And to go down and meet and do some things, and so we're just choosing, basically, that's a good point, Commissioner, not to participate in the next round.
Right.
That's what we're doing.
Yeah.
And I will let, if that's okay with you, I'll send an email out, and just let them know that's our, we talked about it and that's where we're at. Okay?
Okay.
Good? That concludes old business. You can sneak out if you want to.
I can stay.
You good? Okay, we're gonna go back to Barb for new business.
New business, supplemental appropriations, I have a few. Maintenance and repair fund, the equipment for the garage, $1.4 million. This is for new mowers and a truck for the engineer's office. Enforcement and education fund, equipment, in the amount of $1,500 for an OVI simulator for the sheriff's office. I have several for the Seneca County employees, health fund, salaries in the amount of $3,880, Medicare for $60, workers' comp for $60, supplies for $2,895, contract services for $1,200. These were all items that were not budgeted when we passed the budget for '25. And it is for our wellness program that we participate in. County Capital Projects Fund for the jail, $127,750. This is for the intercom system. And then the revolving loan fund contract services, $1,091.82. These are for administrative fees.
So move to approve the supplemental appropriations.
I'll second that.
Okay?
Commissioner Bustecker?
Yes.
Commissioner Frankert?
Yes.
Commissioner Paradiso?
Yes.
I have two resolutions for you. The first being setting time, date, and place to receive sealed bids for the 2025 LPA County Road 6, County Road 12 pavement resurfacing project for the engineer. This is due to open on April 3rd at 10 a.m. at our office.
So move.
Second. Okay.
Commissioner Bustecker?
Yes.
Commissioner Frankert?
Yes.
Commissioner Paradiso?
Yes.
The last resolution I have is setting time, date, and place to receive sealed requests for proposal of information technology managed services. Again, this will open on March 27th at 10 a.m. here at the Commissioner's office. There will be a pre-bid, if I want to use that word loosely, meeting on March 18th at 1 o'clock here at the Commissioner's office for anyone that has questions, so that we are all in the same forum. We can just answer all those questions in a group setting.
Make a motion.
Second.
Okay, Commissioner, he beat you to the
That's
draw.
right.
Commissioner Bustecker, second. Any discussion? We good?
Yep.
Okay.
Commissioner
Roll call.
Bustecker?
Yes.
Commissioner Frankert?
Yes.
Commissioner Paradiso?
Yes. Okay.
That's all I have. I do want, real quick, as a reminder, our March 20th meeting will be moved till 10:30 start time due to a scheduling conflict.
Okay. Well, public comment. Anybody? Mr. Bradwell?
I got a question for the sheriff. Is 224 open?
Yes.
How long's it been open?
Just like the last Monday. Yeah, Monday or,
I
yeah.
think it was Monday night or something like that, yeah.
So it was closed for
Probably 2 weeks.
2 weeks?
Yeah.
Yeah, probably, yeah.
So it goes to show that the railroad
Yeah.
people don't care about the highways. Because if I have it right, the railroad was running cars through there the second day.
Second or third day, yes.
Yeah. And the road is closed for a stupid reason, because they didn't do their job. Am I correct with that?
Well, I will say that the rail was probably easier to replace than the roadway because of the asphalt, or I don't know if they did asphalt or
Yeah,
cement.
see, I think the asphalt we talked about, that had to, and I think that had to be, because it's gotta meet ODOT specs.
Because of the
And it had to
crossing,
take longer for-
crossbucks, and the weather. The weather did not cooperate that first probably 4 or 5 days, so that might be part of it.
It seems
But I do know that, like he said, there has to be at a crossing certain state specifications, so that might have delayed some of it or whatever, but yeah, it was out for almost 2 weeks, I think. yeah.
They have to get
I
blacktop
have a
from,
problem with the asphalt. There's got to be other ways. With the knowledge today that everybody has,
Yeah.
if you got speed going across, slow the speed down for the semis. Slow them down to 10 mile an hour, whatever it takes. But, you know, a couple of loads of stone goes a long way. And stones can be removed very easily, inexpensively, until the blacktop or whatever they need to get done. I think somebody has really dropped the ball on that. That is a main artery. I mean, I don't use it anymore. I used to use it a lot, but I don't anymore.
We had a lot of issues with the detour and everything like that.
There's a lot of semis run down that road.
Yes.
Especially the back road, that was pretty
Yes.
tough discussion last night at the fair board.
Yes, it was a nightmare. We got a lot of calls. We sent out a lot of deputies out that area, stopped a lot of vehicles, wrote some tickets and stuff, but yeah, it was a long 2 weeks for everybody involved.
They made extra work for you because they didn't do their job, the way I see it.
Now, with that being said, we do have a meeting coming up, and we are to give statistics on that night when I was out there, my deputies are out there, and anything else residual from it, our overtime, our costs, and they're supposed to submit all that, and we can get a reimbursement back to the general fund for that. But you're right, yes.
It put a load on you that you didn't need to have.
We did not. And fortunately, through whatever, the grace of God or whatever, we didn't have a East Palestine situation.
That's good. Yeah, that part is good. Yeah.
But so, we dodged a bullet there for sure.
Yeah. Okay, well, I said my piece. Thank you.
No, it's good. Anybody else?
The people of Falls Story appreciate Bill Frankert for showing up to Saturday's meeting. It was interesting, I'll put it that way, and he got thanked a lot during the council meeting Tuesday night that they liked that Bill was there. And Deb Tyson had permission to use your name. She said that 3 times.
I heard you.
That's good, yeah, that's, yeah.
So I heard he's gonna buy a house over there.
She said that, I was gonna tell you, I see, that's great.
Dual residency.
She said 3 times.
3 times, that's good.
Yeah, that is good. Thanks. Okay, meeting adjourned.